virtual fair. We are very excited to present to you possibilities to study or do your research in our little big country in the heart of Central Europe, which is Slovakia. So I hope you are all comfortable and ready. Maybe grab your cup of coffee or tea, and I hope you will enjoy our interesting information about our country. Let me start by telling you something about our agency. We are from SAIA, Slovak Academic Information Agency. That is a non-profit and non-governmental organization that has been established in the 1990s, and it aims to strengthen the civic society via internationalization of science and education in Slovakia, which are some big words, but they simply mean that we want foreign students and researchers to come to Slovakia and to come to our country, enjoy and experience it, and enhance their learning experience together with Slovaks. So why should you come to Slovakia? And basically, where is Slovakia and what is Slovakia for those of you who maybe don't really know? Slovakia is a small country in the center, in the heart of Europe, as we like to call it. Actually, a geographical center of Europe is in Slovakia, and it is not to be mixed up with Slovenia, which is also a small country in the center of Europe and quite close, a little bit smaller than Slovakia. Those two are similar in size and in a name, but are not the same. But people in the world actually mix them so much that Slovak and Slovenian embassies have to meet on regular basis to exchange wrongly addressed mail. That's an interesting fun fact for you. Now some basic facts about Slovakia. We are not many. There's 5.4 million of Slovaks in our country. We are a parliamentary democracy and a member of European Union since 2004. And maybe you know that we used to be a part of Czechoslovakia until 1993. In the year 1993, we separated and became independent country. Our currency is euro, and that is very convenient because you do not have to exchange your money and currency when you would like to travel to other European Union countries. And we are a member of the Schengen area, which is also very efficient and convenient because it means that when you come to Slovakia, the door to all of Europe are open to you and you do not have to wait at borders. Here you can see a little map of Slovakia and the surrounding countries, and you can see that we are truly in the middle of everything and close to a lot of interesting stuff. For example, from our capital city, it's just 1 hour to Vienna, 2 hours to Budapest, and around 3 hours to Prague, which are, I think, world famous European cities. And now you know some basic facts about Slovakia, about its geography and people, but now I would like to tell you something more interesting, more connected with your emotions and your curiosity, and tell you why it is a good idea to come to Slovakia for maybe a vacation, but even better for your studies or research. Well, Slovakia is a really interesting country historically, and also due to its geographical position, it has always been on the crossroads of different cultures and different historical periods and historical events. In our history, we have passed many kingdoms and many empires, but only in the last 50 years we have passed from communism to independence. So maybe interesting for you would be that in the city you can find, for example, brutalist architecture right next to Renaissance buildings. We have also been a part of a different country, Czechoslovakia, until 1993. And in 1993, we divided very peacefully, and we are still friends with our Czech brothers. So that's also interesting. We have breathtaking nature, many mountains. So when you come to Slovakia, you are very close at every point to nature, to mountains, to forests, to wilderness. We have many castles. We are actually written in the Guinness World Record book because there is the most castles in the world per capita in Slovakia. And it basically means that it has been counted that maybe in every castle, maybe 280 Slovaks could live. So maybe you could be one of those people. We have also many caves and many publicly accessible caves. So when you come to Slovakia, you can also visit many of them. And the caves are worldly unique. We have many World Heritage sites. This castle, which you can also see on my Zoom background, is UNESCO World Heritage Site and is the biggest castle in the Central Europe. We have a lot of historical towns, a lot of breathtaking architecture, a lot of every historical period. As I already told you, we have been on the crossroads of culture since the beginning of time. And I cannot just go on without mentioning our gastronomy, which is very unique, and it is based a lot on sheep cheese, because as Slovakia is very mountainous, we have a lot of shepherds and sheep here, and sheep cheese is our staple and our most traditional ingredient. Also, we have interesting culture, which is a mix of the old and the new. Slovaks are very keen on our folklore dances and folklore traditions, but also maybe you didn't know that Andy Warhol's parents were born in Slovakia, and actually in one of Slovak towns he has his own museum. Also, 30% of Slovakia's surface is covered by forest. Our country is not crowded, as has very good air quality. Also, it is as safe as Germany, Sweden, Belgium, or Netherlands. And basically, we love it here. And we hope you would too. So why should you come to Slovakia has been already answered, but why should you study or do your research in Slovakia? Well, let me sum it up in 4 points. And the first is location. With high quality education at many highly ranked universities in which you pay a relatively low tuition fees. Briefly, let me tell you something about our education system. So when you come to study in Slovakia, our students begin studying bachelor degree, which usually takes from 3 to 4 years, and 4 years applies to study fields like architecture, arts, or design. Then you continue to your master's degree, which usually takes 1 to 3 years. Or if you study medicine, veterinary medicine, or pharmacy, you study joint master's and bachelor degree, which usually takes from 5 to 6 years. And then if you wish so, you continue to doctorate, which usually takes from 3 to 4 years. In Slovakia, there is 20 public, 3 state, and 11 private higher education institutions. And in these, you can study more than 400 study programs offered in English or other foreign languages. Well, that all sounds nice, but you probably ask, how is it with tuition fees? And it is quite simple. If you study in Slovakia in Slovak language, by law, you pay no tuition fees in Slovak universities, and the education is free for you. If you study in a foreign language, for example, English or some other language, you pay tuition fees, and those vary from approximately 500 euros to 12,000 euros per year, while the higher end of tuition fees applies to the study programs like medicine or veterinary medicine. Of course, updated information on tuition fees can be obtained from international relations offices of the respective higher education institutions. So, as we all know, these things change very often or year by year. So, the exact information you should ask for the exact information if you decide for a specific university in Slovakia. Well, you have seen that you can study with or without tuition fees, but how is it with living costs in Slovakia? Well, as with everything, it depends on your living standard. You can pay from 100 to 250 euros for food, also depending on the way you live. For example, if you cook your own food or you usually eat in restaurants or in canteens. And for accommodation, you can also pay varying amounts of money depending on whether you live in dormitory or you want to rent a private apartment or some private type of accommodation. And on top of all that, students in Slovakia can work up to 20 hours per week. And after graduation, you can extend your residence permit up to 9 months in order to find a job or start a business, which is really nice. All this information and many more you can find in our guides, which are available on www.saya.sk. You can choose the English language variation, and we have many interesting guides there for students, researchers, and more. Even a guide called Study Programs offered in foreign languages. And this guide is really useful for all those of you who would like to know which study programs can be studied in English in Slovakia, because all of those are listed in this guide and you can search through it very quickly and very intuitively. Except our guides, you can find many interesting information on our website. In news and information, you can find also deadlines and many interesting information about our webinars. But in the section Scholarship and Grants, we have a great tool for you, which is called our database of scholarships and grants, which offers you the search bar, which you can use to search for scholarships that are available to you. You can put there your home country, your support category, which means if you would like to come to Slovakia for study, research, mobility, or something else, and also your target group, which means who you are, if you are a bachelor, master, or PhD students. And if you put in your home country and other categories, our database shows you the scholarships that are available to you. In the case of, for example, Malaysia, it's National Scholarship Program of the Slovak Republic. And with this slide and this information, I would like to give the floor to my colleague Simona, who will tell you something more about exactly this scholarship program that is for all of you. Thank you. So just a minute, I will share my screen. Can you see the presentation? Yes, everything's fine. Now I would like to introduce you the National Scholarship Program of the Slovak Republic, which can be ideal for you if you would like to come to Slovakia for a short study or research stay. The National Scholarship Program of the Slovak Republic is funded by the Ministry of Education, Science, Research and Sport of the Slovak Republic, and we, as SAYA, administrates this scholarship program. The National Scholarship Program of the Slovak Republic supports mobility of students, PhD students, researchers, university teachers, and artists. Students who would like to apply for this scholarship program can come to Slovakia for 1 or 2 semesters. PhD students, university teachers, researchers, and artists can carry out their research or artistic mobility in Slovakia from 1 up to 10 months. The amount of the scholarship depends on the category from which you are. If you are a student, you will receive 400 euros per month. PhD students receive 734 euros per month. And if you are from the last category, it means that if you are researcher or a university teacher, here the scholarship amount or scholarship rate depends on your career stage, but the maximum is 1,050 euros. Together with the scholarship, you can apply for travel allowance if you are a student or PhD student. Travel allowance depends on the distance between your home country and the host institution in Slovakia. So if this distance is, for example, more than 7,000 kilometers, you will get the travel allowance 1,000 euros. And now, who are eligible? If you are a student outside of Slovakia, you can apply. So it means that all students from any country of the world can apply. You have to be the student of the second, on the second level of the higher education. It means that you can apply if you are a master student. And of course, you must be accepted by one of the Slovak university. It can be public, private, or state university, and this university has to accept you for an academic mobility. If you are a PhD student, you can apply if your higher education or scientific training takes place outside the Slovakia, and as it was in case of students, you also need to be accepted by one of the Slovak university or research institution for academic mobility. And the last category, researchers and teachers, can come to Slovakia with this scholarship if they are invited for teaching, research, or artistic stay by an institution which has got the valid certificate to carry out research and development. At the same time, this institution cannot be the business company, and its seat has to be in Slovakia. How to apply? Applications are submitted online on the webpage scholarship.sk, and there are two deadlines. The next deadline in October is for summer semester of the academic year, and then another deadline will be in April, and this deadline in April is for next academic year. Together with the application, applicants have to submit their CV, motivation letter, research or study program, recommendation letters from home university. Then students and PhD students also need to submit confirmation on their study. The scan of diploma is also needed, and if you are a researcher or university teacher, you also need to submit list of publication. And the last document is the invitation letter from the Slovak university. If you would like to know more about this scholarship program, feel free to visit the webpage scholarship.sk, where you can find also the button with which you can submit your application, and there is also a section with the tips for applicants, so you can find many useful information on our webpage. This is the end of our presentation, so thank you very much for your attention. And now we have time for your questions. So if you would like to know more about Slovakia as a study destination, or if you are interested in this scholarship program, feel free to ask
Of course, you can visit our information booth during this fair, and you can ask directly there. Or if you will have questions later after this event, feel free to contact me or my colleague Magdalena, or you can also write to our colleague Ondrej Aracký, who is an administrator of the National Scholarship Program of the Slovak Republic. So once again, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Simi, for great information for our viewers on YouTube and during this fair. I think we have one question yet in the chat, and it is how much non-EU for study? And I'm not sure how does Timothy means this question. How much non-EU for study, how much they pay? Well, it is not calculated based on where you come from, just on which study program you apply to if you would like to study in Slovakia without the scholarship, and how much non-EU are accepted to studies in Slovakia. I don't think there are quotas for that. Am I right, Simi?
Yes, you are right. And maybe the question was about the tuition fee. I'm not sure. But there is only one rule that if the person wants to study in Slovak language, there is no tuition fee. So it means that that person doesn't pay. And if you decide to study in another language, for example, in English, there is no, like, we do not differentiate if you are from a EU country or non-EU country. If you will study in English, you have to pay the tuition fee.
Yes, thank you. And also another question from Timothy, and that is if we have any TOEFL or IELTS English tests. And again, I think you have to contact the specific university to ask them if they require you to have TOEFL or IELTS English tests or any other English test proving your proficiency. I think regarding our scholarship, I'm not sure. I think we do not require English test if you would like to apply for the scholarship. But if you would like to apply for full study at the university, you have to discuss directly with them. Also, another question, how about the scholarship for whole master's degree? It is available for Asian citizens. Well, right now, we do not have full study scholarship, but it is expected in the near future that there will be a full study scholarship, and it will not be limited to specific countries. It will be for all third or non-third country nationals, right?
I sent the link to the chat for a governmental scholarship of the Slovak Republic, because every year we have the scholarship for full study, and the list of countries can be changed. So the application deadline is in May, and maybe in the future there also will be a scholarship for Asian countries.
Yes, maybe Simi, if you click at the wizard, then the viewers can see which countries are there this year. Wizard.
Am I still sharing the screen?
Yes, but maybe go back to the governmental scholarship and yes, under the application, yes, now you can see the countries that are available for full scholarship this year. Unfortunately, there are no Asian countries, but as I said, in the near future, there should be a full study scholarship to Slovakia that is not limited to your country of origin. So you just maybe have to follow us, our web page or social networks, and we will let you know.
We only have 3 minutes, so I think that I saw some questions in the chat.
Yeah. Question from Febriento. It is allowed to take a part-time job while we studied? Yes, absolutely. As we said, you can legally work up to 20 hours per month alongside your studies. Or even more, but well, then you pay taxes. But of course, yeah, you can absolutely work. While we wait for maybe other questions, I would like to invite you to our social networks, Facebook and Instagram, where we regularly publish interesting information about Slovakia, scholarships and deadlines. And if you are interested in our topics, we would be really glad if you give us a follow. Thank you so much for your attention, and maybe to close it off, maybe Simi can tell you all something that she really thinks you would appreciate about studying in Slovakia.
So I think that we do not have time right now, but as I said before, feel free to visit our information booth if you will have more questions later during the fair.
We have another question, and that is there any program related to diplomacy or international affairs studies?
Yes, of course. There is some program related to diplomacy, and to answer this question, we should search in in one of our publication where you can find the list of all study programs offered in English language. And this publication is also available in our information booth. So maybe I can send the link, but I'm not sure if I will.
I will be sending it right now.
Sorry?
I will be sending it right now into the chat. I already have it copied.
Okay, thank you. If you can still see my screen on our webpage in section Saya, there is the part publications, and here you can find all the publications in which you can find very useful information. So you can download it, of course, for free. And here you can find study programs offered in foreign languages, International Students Guide to Slovakia, and also International Researchers Guide to Slovakia.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for your attention. Our time is up, and we would like to close it off for today. And I hope you will visit us in our Study in Slovakia booth if you have any more questions. And thank you very much for your attention. And it was really nice to